Good evening, everybody. How are you all? I know no one will just be jumping on just yet, so I will wait a couple of moments because it takes a little while for Facebook to tell everyone we're on. So we just sit here for a moment, see if anyone comes on. If not, we'll start. Is that all right, Sam?
Yeah, that's fine.
Takes a little while for Facebook just to say, hello, we're live. I'm going to check it. Oh, look, we've got 3 on.
Oh.
Good evening, everybody. I already obviously said good evening, and we were just waiting for anybody to join us. So I will formally introduce you now, Sam.
Okay.
Now I've lost the bit that I was using. Give me 1 second. Hope you're all having a good evening and had a good day. We're having a busy one. Busy one. So, this is Sam Hawkins, and she is, let me get this right, NLP Master Practitioner, and you specialise in helping people like me with chronic illnesses. You empower women and men as well.
Yeah.
And you do some stuff with musicians and performers as well.
That's a new thing I'm going to be doing. I work in schools as well, linking my teaching experience.
I knew you did the schools, but when I wrote that, I was like, I didn't know you helped.
That's a new little thing that I'm working on with a music teacher friend of mine.
Awesome. So let me just tell you a little bit about Heartizan Toolbox, and then you can jump in and tell everyone what you do, and
okay.
And then we'll have a look at some comments if anyone is commenting. It doesn't come up where I see. I have to check on my phone. But what we do is you've checked us out a little bit anyway, haven't you?
Yeah.
We're Heartizan, and we're got a marketplace, and we do support groups. So we have a crafters display group, which is our lowest package. Then we have this one, which is the Heartizan Toolbox, and then we have an Imaginarium, which is our higher, where I am basically based. And we like to bring people on to have some inspiration, give us some content, have a bit of our chat. And that's what we like to bring people in. And we've, I don't think I've told them actually, but they've heard of Robin before. Some of them are here, have heard of Robin before. And Robin put us in touch together, which was very nice of him. Yeah, so tell us all about you then, Sam.
Okay, so, hello everybody. So basically, I'll start my story, which Chris has already heard. Just give me a sign if I need to shorten it. I'll do a shorter version than I told you. So 14 years ago I was a primary school teacher and a makeup artist. Strange combination, but yeah, it worked for me. And I was doing singing and dancing in amateur dramatic shows, so living a really lively life. And then I fell pregnant with my son, who is 13 in March. And then I started to feel really ill. I had dizziness, I had widespread pain, I had fatigue, I had insomnia, I had brain fog. I'm sure that a lot of the things I'm saying are sounding familiar to lots of you. And I went to the doctors and they said, oh, it's just normal when you have a newborn child to feel like that. And I didn't think it was, but I took the tablets he gave me, all the tablets and things. Anyway, it took 3 years to become diagnosed with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. And I was told that I would always have those, and so I carried on the best I could. And I thought, well, if I'm always going to have them, I'll have another child, even though that was my trigger. And because I had to just carry on, as I know a lot of you do and have to. And I gradually became less able to be in shows, so I dropped out of those, but I was still pushing through and crashing and burning. And then after 9 years I had an operation that and it was a gynae operation, which I think was no coincidence, that having my son had been a trigger, and it pushed things to extreme levels. So I couldn't push through, I could barely walk. I used sticks just to walk around 5 minutes to drop my children off at school, and that would wipe me out for the whole day. I just spent my days on the sofa, and I didn't feel that I could be a proper mum. And I knew that whilst I'd been told I would always have this, I knew that I needed to try and find a way out. And if I tried to find a way and I couldn't find a way, then I would accept that, and I would just make the best I could, and be in a wheelchair, and that would be fine. But I knew that I needed to try and find a way. And so in February 2016 I did a course which was it was a body mind course, and it was based on NLP, neuro linguistic programming, which I'm sure some of you have heard of, and I had never heard of it. I had no clue what it was. So it was all about the link between the body and the mind. I did that the wrong way around. The body and the mind and the body.
I'm not sure if you have,
Yeah, I think that's because I always say I get out of the head and into the body, but I was doing it the other way around.
I'm not.
The body and sorry?
I'm not so sure if they have heard of NLP. If you could let us know. I'm just going to quickly say who's on before you carry on. We've got Victoria, Jane, Amy, Vicky, Dale, Samantha, different Samantha, Nancy, Carla, who's, sorry, she's just late. Oh, that's okay, you haven't missed anything. Erica's just putting a little boy to bed me back, and Samantha said it sounds very familiar.
Okay, brilliant. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so basically, if people have missed the first bit, you can just catch it up afterwards. I was probably waffling. So basically, I can go into what NLP is a little bit later. So I did a 3-day course, February 2016, and my aim was that even if I can get to how I was before my operation, so before everything got to the levels where I couldn't push through, I would be happy with that. Just so that, even though I would still have fibromyalgia and CFS, I would still be able to cope with my children and push through. And that's exactly what happened. I went in at a 2. If 0 is the worst ever I experienced and 10 was the best, I went in at a 2, and I came out 3 days later at a 7, and that was brilliant. The guy had told me that I would be cured in 5 months. And I was much better than I was. I was still ill, but I was how I had been before the operation. So I knew that I could survive and I could push through. 5 months came and went, and then I started getting worse again, because I had that hope and that block of 5 months that, yeah, you're going to be cured, and I wasn't. And after a year, and I was doing all the techniques they'd given me, but I couldn't understand why. One of my friends, she was cured and I wasn't. So after a year, I thought, well, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, was clearly the answer for me because it had helped me to a point. So I did a 2-day course, and I started to kickstart my belief again. And I still was ill, but I managed to shatter a couple of limiting beliefs, and I went to Zumba, and I thought I would never go to Zumba again. And yes, I only did 30% effort, and yes, it completely wiped me out for a couple of days and really hurt me, but I had gone, and that was my belief changer. That was my, actually, I can do this, and I was willing to crash to be able to do something that I thought I could never do again. And so then I decided that I wanted to become a practitioner, despite my husband saying, well, how can you be a practitioner if you're not fully better? And I knew that was the way that I was going to get better. And on the last day of the practitioner course in November 2017, I metaphorically threw fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome out of the window. And I consider that was the day I fully recovered. I was getting better, but I fully recovered on that day. I still have people today say to me, oh, I didn't know you could recover. Well, I did. And I came out a completely different person. This is why I do empowerment groups as well as I am niching in chronic illness, because obviously I've experienced it myself and come out the other side. But I do empowerment groups as well, because I came out a completely different person. I'm confident, I'm calm, I'm laid back. I was never laid back, I felt really empowered. And I did have a bit of a roller coaster of a year, kind of getting used to this, because once you shatter loads of limiting beliefs, it's then really hard to live in the life that you were living in. And that time I realised that the reason that I had only got better to a point before was because I had only partly believed. I'd only half believed I could do it, and partly because I was still living in my head. So this is where I do I do it the right way around this time. So I was living in my head. So I was doing all the techniques, but I still had all that stuff, all that worry in my head. And on my course, it was very much linked to movement as well. And so it got me out of the head and into my body. And I've since last year, I did my Master Practitioner as well. So I had a much deeper understanding, which again transformed me completely. And I didn't think that I was going to get any more transformed. And it means that with clients, I can get to that deeper level quicker. And now not at the moment, because I'm recovering from a fractured wrist, but I did the fractured wrist at 5 Rhythms dancing, which also helps me get out of the head and in the body. But if anyone had told me 3 years ago that I would be able to go walking and I would be able to run around with my kids and I would be able to do 2 hours of dancing a week, then I would have said, don't be so stupid, there's no way. And I do. So so yeah. So now I this is why I've ended up niching, and I want to help people in all areas of health and well-being, but I most of my clients are people who have chronic illness, and I'm not just talking chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia that I had. I include anything that's chronic and long term in that, and I don't make promises like the first guy promised me that I would be cured in 5 months. I don't do that. The only promise that I make is, with NLP, which I will talk about more in a second, but you have to want to do it, and you have to want to change. And if you believe that you can change and you want to change, then what I do say is that I can help you to become better than you are now. And that's my promise that I give to people, because some people, what he hadn't explained, and actually once I pointed out to him that I had that block, he never says to people anymore, oh, you'll be cured in this time, because he promises now that people will feel better. If you commit to it and you do the techniques, then you will feel better, because everybody has different symptoms, everybody has it at varying degrees, and I believe that it can help, and I've helped a lot of people with chronic illness, and they are so much better than they were.
And you're living proof of it as well, aren't you?
Exactly. I'm not going to stand up and do star jumps and things.
No, you don't have to do that.
But yeah, I am my own walking advert, and because of that, a lot of my clients are people that I know, because they've seen the change in me, and then either it's people I know or they've recommended me.
And at one point you was walking on crutches, weren't you? Or not walking, but using crutches.
Yeah. Well, I bought hiking sticks. I was using hiking sticks because I didn't want anyone. And this was because now it doesn't bother me what people think, but it bothered me what people thought. And the first time I walked into the playground with even the hiking sticks, I thought everyone was going to look at me. And I do have crutches upstairs because I had previously needed them when I broke my ankle, and when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had SPD, so I had crutches. But I didn't want crutches. I didn't want anything that made me look like I was ill, even though I was. And that was a me thing, and I'm sure people will resonate with that as well. I didn't want a walking stick. I didn't want an actual walking stick because I didn't want people thinking she's too young to have a walking stick. And I'm sure things that I'm saying are resonating. I'm sure because it is you want, even though it used to annoy me when people said, "Oh, but you look okay, so you must be okay," and that used to really annoy me. But then I didn't want people to then feel sorry for me, and it's hard, isn't it? I didn't want people to. I wanted people to be there and support me and understand if I needed them to understand, but I didn't want that. Oh, are you okay? And I still get that sometimes if people haven't seen me for a while. You know, because I look the same. Well, actually, I used to have long hair and I didn't have the nose stud. They were my things I had done, and I dyed my hair when I first had my course, so that because I changed so much on the inside, I wanted to change on the outside as well. So, you know, but once people know that you're how you were, they're surprised when I'm completely different now. So
I'm just going to give you a couple of comments.
Okay.
I've got quite a few. Just going back. They have heard of NLP. They have. Maggie said that's amazing. Wow. Amy says that's amazing. Vicky says you are amazing, and it's about positive mental attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
She says, I have a lot of friends with chronic illness and don't know how they get through the day. I have a lot of admiration for them. Vicky, but you have too. Well, I think, I won't say what. Vicky has illness too. Or diagnosis, haven't you, Vicky? I understand that I hate relationship with my wheelchair on bad days. This is Amy. Samantha says that's exactly how she feels. And Victoria says, I see my mobility scooter as a tool so it doesn't bother me anymore. Do you know what? I've got stuff that I have to have sometimes, and I hate wearing them. I hate going out with them. In the house I'm okay, and the kids are okay, and but if I get to that point, I don't go out the house. I don't. I don't know what that's about. I think that is about pity, isn't it? You don't want people's pity, because I've always been
exactly.
Strong
but actually, person. You see, actually, what I've learned now, and you know, there's a lot of NLP techniques that would help you to overcome that and think like was it Amy you said who uses it as a tool? No, who was it with the mobility scooter? Victoria, sorry. Amy was a wheelchair. Yeah, like she now knows that it's a tool for her to be able to, you know, if she wants to go out, then she can use it. And I think that's a really good, positive thing to do. And I realised that because the first time when I had the sticks and I was like, oh, everyone's going to look at me. Actually, no one's really bothered. No one really, you know, and the people who are and the people who start judging really aren't worth anything. And it takes a lot. I can't believe I just said that, because I wasn't like that at all. This is what I mean by completely changed. And I was completely, oh my goodness, everyone's looking, because there are so many judgmental people out there. You know, and they don't know the backstory. They don't know that actually it's been a struggle for you to be able to get out of the house in the first place, and it really doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, there's. I know we haven't spoken about what our plan is yet, but
we haven't.
But yeah. But there's a lot of techniques and things that we could maybe work on there surrounding.
Couple of more comments. Nancy says she's diagnosed as nuts, but that's to Vicky, and Vicky has epilepsy. I didn't want to say it out loud because that's, you know, that's
fine. If she wants to tell us, that's fine.
So she's got epilepsy, and she doesn't suffer with pain like some people do. Victoria says, I went from not being able to walk at all 5 years ago to being able to walk very short distances now. That's awesome, Victoria.
That's fab. That's really fab. Really fab. I know my struggle was different, but you know, I know it's like to be able to get to that point where you can suddenly, oh my goodness, and even now I look back and think, oh my god, I can't believe that I can do that. And it is when you've got even a little step that you've done, you can just look back, and that pushes you on to be able to go to the next level.
So can you tell us a little bit more about NLP, and then we'll talk about what we plan to do with with you.
Okay. Oh no.
And then
a bit scary.
And we've also you never get away from us now.
That's okay. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Nancy said that Victoria walked down the aisle at her wedding.
Oh, that is fab. What an achievement to be able to do. I'm assuming that that's what spurred her on to be able to, to think, I'm gonna, well, I've got tears in my eyes. That is brilliant. Happy tears.
I did that the best day of my life.
I can know exactly here what that would have meant. Oh, that's fantastic. I like that.
I need pictures for you.
As you probably gathered, I'm not often speechless, but I love that. That's really cool. Well done. So neuro-linguistic programming. So it's all about the body-mind. I'm not even going to try and do the body-mind connection. And it's all about the positive. So what I liked about it and why it worked for me above other therapies, because I that was the short version I gave earlier. I tried loads of different things, and why it worked for me was because you are focusing on what you want. You're not focusing on the problem. So all the time I was focusing on being well and healthy. I wasn't focusing on not having pain. And that is because a lot of us have a lot of negative self-talk, and I thought I was a positive person. I was positive to everybody else except for myself, and it was very negative, and I took on all the negativity that I'd had around me, because I'm finding that people with chronic illness, in my experience, my personal experience and my experience of clients, and I'm sure that a lot of you will agree with this, are high achieving people. They are highly empathetic people that push themselves, and highly empathetic people tend to take on things from everybody else. And that's what I did, and that's what I find a lot of my clients did, and I'm sure there's a lot of people here that are resonating with what I'm saying. Absolutely. I'm not saying that that there are equally highly empathetic people who don't have chronic illness, and equally there's people with chronic illness who aren't like that, but in general, and so that's why it helped, because you're thinking about the positive, and it's changing the response. So for me, I believe that my stress response came out in pain, fatigue, fibromyalgia, CFS, just like other people's might come out in that, or that might come out in anxiety, in depression, in all the other ones that I can't list them all, but it comes out in different ways. It doesn't mean that when I wasn't stressed I was fine, because I wasn't. I had it all the time, but then the stress would make it worse. And so it's like I read somewhere, and I like this, that it's like being a computer programmer. So I'm kind of a computer programmer for the brain. So I read that somewhere, and I really liked that. So it's changing the mindset. So you're changing the neural pathway. So instead of if you get stressed, you'll get pain, you change it so that you then get calm, if that makes sense. So if I could have fibromyalgia again, just like that, if I started to have the same kind of thoughts and have the same reactions that I used to do, but I don't want to do that. No. So I've retrained myself. Every so often, if I do start getting stressed, I can feel that, and I can instantly get myself back down, because I've got the tools and techniques to be able to do that. So it's just another way of being able to help yourself to be able to reach your goals as well, however small or large those goals are. So I hope that kind of made sense. I think I kind of went off at like different tangents.
But obviously we need to learn more, don't we? So what I'm thinking, Sam, is because we've got one book for next week.
I think it was
week after.
It was the half term, wasn't it?
The week after. I don't know. Do you know, I keep thinking it's the end of February already.
Gosh, way in advance. Don't wish your life away.
I know, way in advance. But what I thought we could do is perhaps we could pop like a question and answer thing up in readiness, because now they've met you and other people can watch the replay. They could pop some questions in for you, and then we can have a think about some content and stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be good. And I think when I spoke to you, Chrissie, before, A good one to start with as well would be positivity, because whilst I know, you know, when we were chatting, you're very positive, and you've learnt to be, and it sounds like from what you've said, that a lot of the people realise that, you know, positivity, well, it's the only way you get through when you have chronic illness, isn't it? But so positivity would be maybe be a good one to start with, and to be able to answer questions, or if anyone has any topics that they think it would be nice for me to talk about, because I mean, obviously the slots are going to be quite small, but we are planning a kind of regular thing, aren't we?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
If that's what people want.
So we're going to do
I just want to be able to help people, because I'm sure, like I was told, I would always have fibromyalgia. I'm sure lots of you have been told that, and yes, some of the things. I have dizziness, and I do still have dizziness, but the dizziness is much better than it was, so it can improve things as well. And I'm working on that. Fibromyalgia was my thing I was doing there, and now I'm working on the dizziness, and so it can improve lots of things.
It can help with all aspects of life, can't it?
Exactly. Oh gosh, exactly. That's why I'm trying not to just niche in chronic illness, because like I run an empowerment group in Stroud once a month, and
I've got to come.
Sorry, say that again.
I've got to come. I live in Stroud.
Yeah, no, come.
Yeah.
It's on the 21st of February.
Remind me.
I'll put the link.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also, if that's the kind of thing that I'm thinking of doing an online empowerment group as well. And I'm definitely going to be doing an online, I wasn't going to mention this, but I'm planning at the moment an online chronic illness program as well.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
So that's on my, that kind of end of March kind of to launch that. So yeah, so I've got lots of plans in the offing, but so yeah, it's not just about chronic illness. It is, I mean, as I say, I went to recover from fibromyalgia, but I came out a completely different person, and I'm changing all the time, because I still do a lot of the techniques on myself, because there's still limiting beliefs there, which whilst I'm better, I'm recovered, I can still improve myself all the time and strive to be a better version of myself. So yeah,
I think it quite a lot of is a mindset. I'm actually quite glad of my what happened to me, because it took me out of probably a life that I did enjoy at the time. But I've told you about this before.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I couldn't look after the children like I would if I was working full-time nursing. Both my boys had issues, and I think things are meant to be. Even chronic illnesses. I know that sounds a bit woo-woo.
No, well, I think I said to you as well, but obviously they don't know, that I am truly grateful for having had fibromyalgia, and having had it to extreme levels. If I didn't have it to extreme levels, I would still have fibromyalgia now, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing and helping others, because it is one of chronic illness. It is something that, you can't, unfortunately, it can't just be fixed. No. And so it is something that, there's so many people, if they, not only with NLP, I know there's other people who have found a way out, and then they want to help other people. And because it's helped me so much, I just feel passionate about helping other people, because why should people be suffering when there is a way out there? And as I said earlier, you do have to believe that it's going to work. I don't work with people who I can see they're not ready for it, or it has to be some people. So there might be some people here thinking, oh, okay, yeah, it sounds okay, but I'm not sure. But the advantage of this is that we'll do these lives, and hopefully people will take, some people will take everything from it, and some people will just take what they want. It's like with all the things, I'm sure everyone here has done lots of different things, and you just take what works for you and what helps.
And the beauty with this, Sam, is that they can watch the replay, and when we've said goodbye in a minute, it will go up to YouTube. So
okay.
Yay! No, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. So we have a Heartizan YouTube channel, and using this program that I've showed you about, watch it back and you'll see it.
Yeah, because all I can see is you
It's
at the
me,
moment.
yeah. But I can put it straight up to YouTube, and we can repurpose it. You can share it from YouTube, and because you can't do that, you can't do that in closed groups. So nobody's comments can, obviously. So Amy says there's always a silver lining. Universe gives us what we need. It really does, Amy. It really does. So I'm gonna. What's the time we've been going? 30 minutes. That's probably enough. And we do 30-minute slots, won't we?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Thank you.
You know what day it was.
But I was really excited about meeting you all, so thank you for having me. And I'll see you all again soon. So if everyone can just write things that you would like me to talk about, then that would be great. And then Chrissie and I can try and work out content. And we've got one date booked, haven't we? Oh, also we were going to say sort of timings, because I think the next one we were going to try in the day, but if people could say whether you'd prefer this kind of time or a day, because we were going to try and swap them around a bit, weren't we?
Yeah, but I don't mind. Pop us in the comments. So if you leave all your links, Sam, in the comments as well, to your groups and everything, put more in the comments.
Because I've got a general unique coaching Facebook page, and then I was just telling you before we came live that I've literally just started a closed group for people with chronic illness. It's called From Chronic to Supersonic. I'm quite proud of that. Robin loved that when I told him that yesterday, because that's what all my chronic illness programs are going to be called, Chronic to Supersonic. But at the moment I have some clients in it, and the only thing is you have to have chronic illness to be in there. So if anyone wants to go in there, then friend me on Facebook, and then I can put you in. Lovely. But I'll put the links at the bottom. Do you want me to put the empowerment thing on there as well? That's more for you.
Yeah, stick it all in the comments. And thank you ever so much for giving us your time and sharing us your story. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, it's been fun. I love it.
Either's fine for me. So we're like I said, I'll do a question and answer a few days before we're scheduled, and then if anyone's got any questions of any things we'd like to do, we do a regular slot, and we're really trying. Well, I won't. I'm just here to interview, but Sam will really try to help us, and me too.
It's been quite nice for me having you there as well, because I did my first ever Facebook Live on my page on Sunday, and I did it so that I would be fine doing this, but I feel totally comfortable because we're kind of doing it as a chatting thing.
Yeah, this is how we do it. And this is what one of completely different to chronic illnesses, but we really encourage our members to go live and to share their story and to do this. And I go on the page and I interview a bit like this, take a show off there.
I think I watched one of them the other day.
Oh, did you? Yeah. We all get a bit crazy on there. We love it. Trina's awesome.
Oh, crazy's good. Crazy's the best way to be. If you're all crazy, then you'll love NLP.
Yeah. We get a lot of viewers on there. Trina is just so awesome. I just do the tech bits. I don't do a lot of talking, to be honest. I do when it's me, and I think I've got Amy coming on with me on Monday, and I think Erica's coming on with me on Friday, and that's the actual main page. So we get a lot of viewers through that. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, then we're going to go, because I've got one of my twins munching in the corner. Do you really need 2 bags of crisps? Thanks ever so much again, and have a good evening, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you all soon.
Bye.